genel izleyici kitlesi için uygundur.
Saat Farkı'ndan merhabalar. Ben Feyza Gümüşlüoğlu. Her hafta farklı ülkelerden konuklarla bölgesel ve küresel gelişmelere dair farklı perspektiflere yer vermeye çalışıyoruz. Dünyayı Ekotürk ekranında buluşturmaya gayret ediyoruz. Bu hafta tabii İsrail-Filistin konuşmaya devam ediyoruz. 7 Ekim'den bu yana yaptığımız gibi. Bu hafta özellikle biraz Batı Şeria'ya bakacağız. Tabii Gazze'de, İsrail'in Gazze'deki saldırıları bir yandan devam ederken bir yandan da aslında bu saldırılara paralel olarak Batı Şeria'da da tansiyon bir hayli yüksek. İsrail işgali altındaki Batı Şeria'da Filistinlilerin aslında senelerdir maruz kaldığı saldırılar ve İsrailli yerleşimci şiddeti özellikle 7 Ekim sonrası bir hayli artmış durumda, çarpıcı bir şekilde artmış durumda. Öyle ki Birleşmiş Milletler verilerine göre bu yıl Batı Şeria sakinleri için son 15 yılın en ölümcül yılı oldu. Avrupa Birliği de bu yerleşimci saldırılarını yerleşimci terörizmi olarak tanımlıyor ve kınıyor. Bir yandan yerleşimci saldırıları, bir yandan da devam eden, özellikle 7 Ekim sonrası hız kazanan gözaltılar, hapise atmalar devam ediyor. 7 Ekim'den bu yana Batı Şeria'da 2000'den fazla Filistinli gözaltına alındı İsrail tarafından. İşte tüm bu gelişmeler olurken aslında biz biraz bugün, bu hafta Batı Şeria'yı konuşmaya çalışacağız. Geçtiğimiz haftalarda Gazze'yi ağırlıklı olarak büyük bir insanlık dramının yaşandığı Gazze'yi tabii konuşuyoruz. Bu hafta biraz Batı Şeria'ya merceğimizi kaydırıyoruz. Oradan çok kıymetli bir konuğumuz var. İbranice'de Hebron olarak bildiğimiz, bizlerin El Halil olarak isimlendirdiği El Halil kenti, Gazze'ye yaklaşık 60 kilometre uzaklıkta bulunan Batı Şeria işgal altındaki Batı Şeria'nın El Halil kentinden Filistinli bir sanatçı konuğum Maice Al Shareef bizlerle. Biz de oradaki biraz hem 7 Ekim öncesi hem de aslında sonrası durumu anlatacak. Maice, ehlen ve sehlen. Thank you very much for joining my show.
Thank you, Feyza. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Maice, we would like to also, we have been talking about Gaza, of course, for the past few weeks, but also the tension has been running really high in West Bank, where you are currently located.
Yes.
So we would like to discuss the situation in West Bank as well, in the Israeli-occupied West Bank. So you live there, you are from there, and you are living there. So first of all, as I said, we will talk about the West Bank, but in general, how do you feel, Maice? Let me start with this question, personally.
Well, I feel unsafe. I feel sad. I feel heartbroken. This is basically, what happened on October 7th. It changed a lot in Gaza, but did not change much in the West Bank because we are living what we have been living for the last few years, for the last decades. Nothing has changed. Basically, only we changed. We are heartbroken. We are sad. Yeah.
It's sad to hear that, of course. So you also mentioned, Maice, and as the United Nations reports also point out, the Israeli settler violence in the Israeli-occupied West Bank has been on the rise. And it surged even further following October 7, of course, and as the war on Gaza continues. The tension is really high there. According to reports, Israeli settler attacks against the Palestinians in the occupied West Bank have spiked since October 7, and the European Union even calls it as settler terrorism. So I want you to tell us first, before and after October 7. You said nothing has really changed. Can you please tell us an ordinary day, a normal day in the West Bank, in the occupied West Bank, before and after October 7, please?
Okay, now, yes, the settlers' attack are more dangerous than ever, but they have always been attacking us. I myself have witnessed an attack, throwing stones at our car while we are moving from one city to another. But now they are armed, they have weapons, and they have the green light to shoot Palestinians on sight if they want to.
What else is happening in terms of controlling in terms of you, your family, your neighbors? How is the situation in general?
In the last few days, the Israeli presence in our area was heavy because they are attacking and imprisoning people who post like on social media and stuff. They are after 2 families to demolish their houses, and they also have arrested at least 18 in the last few weeks from my area. At least 18 people.
It has always been the case. Before also, Israeli soldiers were just coming into any house and arresting people.
Yes.
Can you please also tell us more? Because people don't really sometimes understand the situation. And a lot of people now think that it's been happening after October 7.
No.
But I want you to show us the picture there. Please tell us a life. How is life like in the West Bank?
Yes, it did not start on October 7th. It started 75 years ago. And what's happening is that there's something here in the West Bank that the Israeli forces do is called administrative detention. Administrative detention. It's basically imprisoning anyone for no charges. And they deny them from trial. So they can literally take anyone from their home without pressing charges and denying those people trial, so they can just hold them as long as they want.
Administrative detention, and it was always there, I think, right? It's there
always,
for a long time, so it's not.
And now, after October 7th, everyone who was released from that administrative detention is now re-imprisoned. So now they have like 10,000.
Do you know some personal stories as well?
Yeah. Actually, my friend, her husband was taken 2 weeks after their wedding. She got pregnant. She delivered the baby, and he was still in prison. Then he got out for a year, and then he also is back in prison, and then he got out. Now, after October 7th, he was collected among the other people.
And what is the so-called crime? What is the so-called reason for that? If they provide any?
Maybe they like. Maybe he as a political movement. Maybe he supports Hamas or he supports. I don't know. So it's not a matter of a thing that he did. It's a matter of what he supports, what he thinks, what his ideology. So he literally, it's like it's controlling even the way the people think.
Mm-hmm. And we are talking about, as I said, the reports, settler attacks. Did it really? Can you feel the tension there? Like an ordinary settler, Israeli settler in the West Bank, how is he or she doing after, especially October 7? Do you really feel that tension that we see on reports and on stories, on news stories?
Yes, Feyza, they're going crazy. After the Friday after October 7th, like 6 days after October 7th, it was Juma prayer. People was going out to pray Juma in my city. One guy, after he came back from Juma prayer, he was attacked by a settler and shot. He was shot dead. Because Itamar Ben Gvir allowed settlers to own weapons, heavy weapons, and he allowed them to shoot and kill any Palestinian if he feels that his life is in danger. And they can claim that anytime, anywhere, at anyone.
So all of them in the neighborhood, I mean, a random Israeli settler, I'm just asking, trying to understand, they all carry weapons and they can use those weapons anytime? Whenever they feel threatened?
Yes, exactly. So maybe I threaten them by just standing somewhere, or maybe I'm threatening them just like passing a street. So you never know.
So you all feel that pressure and tension, especially after, of course, I mean, after October 7, it's even the tension is even higher, I guess, right? I mean, compared to previous days. I know that you didn't have a pink, life there before October 7 either.
Yes.
But after that, it got even worse, as far as I understood from you.
Yes.
So before, how was it?
And the movement is harder now from city to another city. Like I live in Hebron. If you want to go to Beit Lahem or Ramallah, this is like almost mission impossible. You're risking a lot if you want to move from one city to another. You're literally risking a lot.
How was it like before, Maice?
Well, we had checkpoints. It was, you know what? It depended on the Israeli army's mood. So one time it's easy, and the other time, no, stop. We want to search your car. We want to make you wait for like a few hours. It depends on their mood.
Depends on their mood. I know that your husband is also a doctor, a medical doctor.
Yes.
He's also working at a hospital, as far as I know. How is his situation now, for instance?
No, he stopped. He stopped.
He stopped.
Now he does. Yeah. He stopped working because, you know, with the war and his the hospital he was working, he was supposed to be moved to Ashkelon. Ashkelon is not a safe place at all. He had a scholarship, but now no, he can't work. He doesn't want actually to work there anymore.
So he's a doctor, but he's not even able to work now.
No.
And you said the challenges about movement. Like we are talking about, by the way, daily movements in the West Bank, right? For instance, we are in Hebron, El Halil, as we call.
Yes.
So before also it was the case, I think. Like let's say try in order to understand it better, a daily routine in the West Bank. Like for instance, you are going from your home to a hospital, let's say, or to a supermarket or whatever. So you always have those checkpoints and you have to present a document or whatever. Can you please give us more example for our audience to better understand the situation, the general situation in the West Bank, in the occupied West Bank? So because we really try to understand, I mean, what is life like in an occupied town or city or a neighborhood?
So now every city in Palestine, in the West Bank, every city has many entrances, not only one entrance, okay? Those entrances are all controlled by Israeli army, so they can close one entrance. For now, for example, Hebron, they closed all the entrances and left only one open that they closed sometimes for a few hours and then reopen it again. So if you leave Hebron, you might get stuck outside. Or if you visit Hebron, you might get stuck inside. And it applies on all the Palestinian cities in the West Bank. They control the entrances. Usually, it's not that strict. They still control it, even, of course, before October 7th. It was not that strict. They still could open and close any entrance anytime. But now, after October 7th, they control all the entrances. They closed them with like iron gates. They built iron gates on every entrance. And the entrances who did not have iron gates, they built iron gates. And they control all the entrances. So the movement, as I told you, even from within the cities themselves, like we have a refugee camp next to us.
Are you talking about Jenin camp?
No. Refugee, it's called Al Fawar here.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's called Al Fawar. This camp is like 2 minutes away, but now it takes the people an hour and 15 minutes because they have to go to a lot of like other sides to get to Hebron or to get, let's say, to my place if they want to come here. I'm 2 minutes away from that refugee camp. But if anyone from there wants to come here to my place, it will take them an hour and 15 minutes because they have to go all around Hebron from like very hard and streets, and you know they have to like go through a lot to get to here.
Mm-hmm. Maice, how do you feel about the Western, especially media, or in general? Maybe you can also talk about Arab media coverage as well, of course, but usually the focus is on the Western media coverage. Gaza and or the West Bank. How do you see, especially after the following the October 7th? How is the situation? And also there is a lot of media outlets there as well, and are they reporting on the ground? In general, how do you see the media coverage, especially Western media coverage of this ongoing war, Gaza and or West Bank?
Well, actually, these days we're living two wars, an actual war on the ground and an online war, because the amount of lies and the propaganda they're spreading, like every single one of us is trying to fight online, basically. because just to spread the truth. You know, at this point, we are beyond what's happening in Gaza. There's a lot. There's a war that's targeting even people's feelings and humanity.
Do you also feel dehumanization of the Palestinians? It was probably the case for you and for all,
Yes.
for most of you. It has been always the case, but especially following the October 7. Do you really, because we talk a lot about this dehumanizing the Palestinians, probably you have really
Of course.
felt this
Yes,
for a very
they
long
said
time.
it.
Please tell us
they said it
your feelings
themselves.
about that.
We're human animals. They said it themselves. I mean, they literally, the Israeli officials wrote on Twitter or X that they are human animals. So we can be human animals who speak English. We can be human animals who work like doctors, anything, all kind of human animals. So yeah, imagine we are now fighting just to be seen as humans.
Yeah.
Like fighting for the freedom of Gaza is next step. Now we have to prove that we are humans.
Right.
And people should mourn our death.
And it is not going to be probably limited to Gaza. What do you think, by the way? I mean, the tension will even rise further in the West Bank because...
Yes, it is already. I mean, they're
it is already too high, but...
Jenin. Yes, they're bombing Jenin. They're attacking cities. And as I told you, they're closing cities.
Do you think, especially Gaza, the northern Gaza, and maybe some parts of the West Bank, will be emptied? This is the general, maybe bigger plan. And also, I also wonder, I know you are not able to move freely, but for the locals, for people like you, your husband, your family, if you had a chance, would you move? Would you go to somewhere else? How is that general mood for you? Because it should be very hard for you to live.
You mean
these days.
moving somewhere else within Palestine, or you mean leaving Palestine?
Leaving completely, because there are also some plans, as we see from the reports. Also, there is a grand strategy to empty some cities, some parts of Gaza, and also maybe some other places.
Yes.
So, what do you think about this is going? Where this whole thing is going to, you think?
You know, Gaza, they definitely want it empty, and they suggested to move them to Sinai Desert, or they even suggested to. They had that option that they might throw a nuclear bomb on Gaza. They literally said it.
Yeah, the minister.
So yes, Gaza. Yes, they definitely want to empty Gaza. They have their own agendas. They have their own plans. They have their Ben Gurion canal that they want to build. They have interest in the gas fields in Gaza. And the West Bank, yes, it's better if we also disappear, because they want, you have no idea the amount of settlements that, let's say only my neighborhood, we have 2 close settlements, huge settlements, filled with the most fanatic, racist, Jewish people you can ever meet in your life.
Is it very close to where you live now, to your apartment, for instance?
It's 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes away.
So
yes, 3 minutes in the car.
When you go out to the street or in front of the house, and when you see those settlers, what happens usually?
Well, usually nothing. We just drive faster. If we pass by any of them, we drive faster. But there's a 80% chances that you will get hit or get spit on, or any disrespectful gesture from them.
You never lived peacefully there, Maice. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I mean,
No.
How was it before October 7? Because we really feel like this thing has been happening after following October 7, but the situation has been going on for years, for decades.
Yes.
You never had a life like a coexistence together peacefully. So it was never a case for you.
Nothing. No. This is something that they claim that they want. No, because even Palestinians with Israeli passports who live in the occupied 1948 lands, they are being discriminated against.
Like how, for instance, because I know that sorry, can you repeat it? Sorry.
Yeah, just a few days ago, they arrested a woman based on liking a social media post. A doctor, my husband knows, he was fired from a hospital in Jerusalem because he liked a Facebook post. He was fired from his career in Hadassah Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So
you never had a peaceful life, huh?
No, define peaceful. What is peaceful? Walking around in streets filled with armies and military forces holding guns. You know, I have to tell my daughters these are playing PUBG because I can't explain for my daughters yet. They are 4 years old, Yani.
Yeah. Are they still going to school, by the way? How is it working there? How are the schools?
It's on and off. On
I
and
see.
off. It's on and off, yeah.
Maice, we have like 3 or 4 minutes left. Also, at this point, I also want to ask you, because you lived in Qatar for many years.
Yes.
Let me ask you very straight. Are you disappointed, maybe not Qatar, but in general, with the Arab regimes, with their action or inaction during this, especially war on Gaza? Are you disappointed, or you never expected anything from the Arab countries, so you're not disappointed at all? How do you feel towards Arab regimes, countries, Muslim countries in the region?
Well, usually you would expect when things escalate to this point that someone would move. But, you know, I imagine that after 20 years, when this war is taught in school as part of history, when my daughter comes home and asks me, Mom, when this war happened, what did the rest of the countries do? What did other countries do? You know, I'll be ashamed. I will be ashamed. I will tell her, they condemned the genocide. But did they do anything? No. I mean, we have 20 plus Arab countries can't stop or can't even call on a ceasefire for one country. So it's disappointing. Yes, it's disappointing.
What else they can do you think, Maice? On what didn't they do except
I mean, whoever
the call for ceasefire?
normalized whoever has did normalize relations with Israel, they could like kick out their ambassadors. They could boycott. I mean, boycotting is a really strong thing to do. Boycotting is like an economic war. So people should boycott everything that has to do with Israel or anything that is supporting Israel.
Mm-hmm. So you just mentioned the normalization with Israel. So you are probably disappointed also with the process, with that normalization process, without improving the lives of Palestinians. So
yes.
It didn't really contribute
yes.
to the problem in your view, right?
Yes.
And probably most of the Palestinians feel that way.
Of course.
About this normalization.
Yes,
I mean, it's no longer possible maybe for some other countries such as Saudi Arabia, but after this point, we don't know. Maybe they...
You never know, Feyza.
You never know.
You never know. Yes, you never know.
So you think?
I mean, already,
Yeah, please go on.
Saudi Arabia was already going on that road. It only stopped by October 7th and what's happening afterwards. So you never know.
Okay. Time is up. Thank you very much, Maice Al Shareef. Please stay safe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Feyza. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, selam. Evet, Saat Farkı'nda bu hafta Batı Şeria'ya uzandık. Biraz oradaki durumu da aslında işgal altında tabii yıllardır Batı Şeria. Oradaki biraz İsrail işgali altındaki Batı Şeria'da hem 7 Ekim öncesi hem 7 Ekim sonrası hayat nasıl? Orada çünkü saldırılar da arttı. Özellikle 7 Ekim sonrası yerleşimci şiddeti de Batı Şeria'da arttı. Dolayısıyla Batı Şeria'da da tansiyon çok yüksek aslında özellikle 7 Ekim'den sonra ama 7 Ekim öncesinde de durum hiç de parlak değildi. Nitekim konuğumuz da zaten aktardı. Filistinli sanatçı Maice Al Shareef'le konuştuk Batı Şeria'dan. Önümüzdeki hafta tekrar görüşünceye dek hoşçakalın.